What's going on, guys, and welcome to the first episode of NHL 26 Utah Mammoth franchise mode series. I had a poll on both YouTube and Twitter, and the overwhelming majority of you guys wanted to see a Utah Mammoth franchise mode, so that's what we're going to get started today. Obviously, this is their inaugural season, their first year as the Utah Mammoth. Last year, they were just the Utah Hockey Club. Top players there, Clayton Keller, Mikhail Sergachev, and Logan Cooley. Arena there, of course, is the Delta Center. Now, in terms of their overall, they're 85, which kind of puts them in the middle of the pack in the Central, which I think makes sense. Hot start to start this year. I think for me, they were like a dark horse playoff candidate, so we'll see if they can actually, pull that off in real life. In game, I think same thing, like probably could make the playoffs, but definitely don't expect them, competing for the cup right out of the gate. And as always, guys, we have injuries turned off. I know some people do not like that, but for me, it is just super annoying to deal with injuries. Of course, though, trade difficulty will be set to hard just to make it, a bit more challenging for us. And then I'm going to have the Simmons scoring set to medium with the shot frequency at high. That's just your standard now. Draft class quality, prospect quality, that'll be low until 2028 when I boost it up to medium. There's just enough real-life prospects in the first couple drafts. There's no reason to have it higher. And also, too, we'll have attribute effects here set to 9 out of 10 just to try and give us the most realistic results possible. You guys might notice, too, the AHL team there is still the Tucson Roadrunners. Definitely very Arizona looking, and I'm sure they'll probably, be changing that to make it more Utah themed in real life. And for this franchise series, guys, I'm using my Vasi and Tugi's latest roster. As always, if you want to download that and you're on Xbox, go over to more, roster sharing, and download community files. And it's currently the second one there, so Vasi Tactics Tugi V1.5. Basically, it's version 1, but we added like the McDavid extension, a bunch of other ones that happened. Since then, we've also had, a bunch of new extensions lately, like Lane Hudson, Harley, Natchez as well. So I made sure to add those for my series here. But unfortunately, the ones from the last couple days are not in this one. They definitely will be in the newest one, but for now, this is our best roster. If you guys want to, go and support us, make sure you download it. And I'll start off here, guys. I'll show you kind of the assets this team has to work with. Obviously, a very young core, led by Clayton Keller there, 27 years old, so still pretty young. Sergachev 2 is only 27, our number one defenseman. You got Logan Cooley there, 21, Gunther 22. McGinley, Denoye, hopefully, making the team soon. Schmaltz there, JJ Peterka, he's only 23. I'm actually surprised he got less value than Schmaltz, being, 6 years younger, and I think, signed long-term. Schmaltz there on expiring deal. We'll see what he wants for an extension. Simashev as well should be coming up. Marino there is solid. So, again, we got a lot of pieces. I think for me, this team's biggest need is probably like a second-line center as well as an elite starting goalie. Vejmelka's not bad, 8th year overall. We'll probably just run with him this year, but, for the future, could use somebody a bit better. Draft pick-wise, we have our first. We got a bunch of seconds, a couple thirds there. Obviously, they've been stockpiling draft picks, over the last few years. So this team's definitely, ready to take the next step. Going to try and, do my best to make that happen. Also, too, if you guys are curious, in regards to free agency, Robbie Fabry there is the best player available, but he does have, 65 durability. Injuries off, I guess that makes him, a lot better. Suter there, 40 years old. Phil Kessel still floating around. Really, honestly, no one we need. And our next year, guys, we're having a conversation with our head coach, Andre Trigny. I'm sure he's going to probably say, like, competing for playoff spot. That's my guess, at least. And yeah, good enough on paper to compete for a playoff spot, like I said. We could get in, maybe miss, shouldn't be tanking, nor should we be competing for a Stanley Cup. Now, in terms of preseason focus, I'm probably going to start off here with 5v5, increase that offensive and defensive awareness to boost our guys' ratings. Like last year, I think the best thing is just do like a 3-year cycle of that, followed by conditioning to make up for the speed we lose. And then strength there, as all you lose is discipline, and a lot of guys will be getting that in the summer. And now look at the lines for this team, guys. Of course, you got Clayton Keller there, first line left wing, playing with Cooley in the middle, Gunther on the right wing. Logan Cooley, I did, like I said, add the latest extension to. So after this season, he's making $10 million for the next 8 years. Then you have Schmaltz there, playing with Hayton and Peterka on the second line. Like I said, I'd like a better 2C. Hayton moved down to the 3C. McBain, for instance, probably more of a fourth liner. And he's kind of overpaid, I think, for what he does, 4.2. So might be a guy we move on from. Kerfoot's fine, the bomb 6. Same with Krause. Carconi here, I think, could be pretty good on the fourth line. Stenlin, of course, has the quick draw X factor. Tanev there is good physically. Also has 96 shot blocking, kind of surprising. Then again, Stenlin there, really solid defensively. In terms of the defense, too, Sergachev our number 1, playing with Thursday. You got Marino, Schmidt, Cole, and Mata. Chemistry-wise, I'll definitely talk to everyone about the scheme fit, try and boost it. Vejmelka there starting. Vanacek's, not the greatest backup, but for the first year, it's okay. Power play 1 actually looks good. Surprisingly gets a -1. Usually, power play 2 gets a -2. Usually, the power play chemistry isn't this bad. So, again, I think talking about the scheme fit not only improves their 5v5 chemistry, but also the special teams. And then looking at the PK there, you can see, luckily, chemistry is a little bit better. So, like I said, we got a good core here. We got good young players coming. AHL-wise, Dino Boots definitely one of the guys, coming up for us. You got O'Brien there. We could maybe use on the fourth line if we trade away an extra guy. Defensively, you got Maverick Lamoureux. You got Simashev. So, like I said, this team's in a very good spot to compete. We could probably move some of our picks to get help right now if they are doing good enough. But obviously, we'll have to see kind of how the sim goes. I don't want to make any moves anyway, basically, until I see, how they're doing in that first year. So we'll look at the ratings here. We got 88 offense, 86 defense, 82 goaltending. Obviously, too, you can see that Utah Mammoth jersey for the home. The away, I actually didn't realize it doesn't have the logo. It's just the letters there. So we'll see what happens. Excited to see here how they play. And actually, guys, before we do get started with the sim, I should take a look at contract extensions. Also forgot to ask earlier, but if you can, leave a thumbs up on this video. Really appreciate it. So as I mentioned, Nick Schmaltz here just does need a new deal. So before we start the year, 6.7, 4 years is honestly a pretty fair ask, especially with the cap going up. If we could bring him back, let's see. Maybe do like 6.25 for 4 years. It's an 86, playing top 6 for us. No clauses. I'm actually pretty okay with that. Afterwards, Barrett Hayton, again, he's going to be a 3C. He wants $6 million. We're going to pass, especially, like I said, based on where I see him playing. That doesn't make a ton of sense. Kerfoot, $3 million bucks. He's a bottom 6 guy. It's okay for a third liner. I don't know if that's where he'll end up. Carconi there. He's on the 4th line. I actually have him on the second power play. 1.8 for 1. We'll see how he does. Stenlin's another guy. He's a good 4C. We actually cannot extend. Turns to the goaltenders. Vanacek, we're just going to lose. Okay, so I think, Schmaltz is the main guy. We want to make sure we can get extended. And there we go, guys. Nick Schmaltz did accept the offer, so I think that's an awesome deal for us. And as always, guys, in regards to the scouts, I made sure to have, A+ in every region, unless the scouts like a B or higher, they can just have an A. So you can see there how I always lay it out. I find, this just gives me the best luck in the draft, so you can do the same if you want. And now, guys, we're at the end of December here with a record of 17, 19, and 4. So kind of surprised, honestly, his team has a negative record. Luckily, though, we're only 2 wins back there, the Wild, for divisional spot. In terms of wild card spot, we're only 5 points back. So I think we'll just have to wait again and see, what we look like at the trade deadline. So I wanted to take it slow before we decided to, buy or sell. In terms of the AHL team, 15, 10, and 3. They're actually surprising me the other way. I didn't really expect them to be that good. So currently 4th place in their division, which means they have a playoff spot. And so now, guys, with the trade deadline here with a record of 34, 24, and 4. So the team's completely turned it around since the Christmas break. We're actually tied with the Predators now for 1st place in division, 72 points each. Kind of surprised to see the Predators there. In terms of the AHL team, 31, 17, and 5. They're also playing really well. They're now 3rd place in their division. And the current leading scorer in the NHL is Barrett Hayton, 48 points, playing the 2C spot. Okay, so he might actually be asking for a lot of money there. I thought he'd be a 3C, next summer. Sergachev, those 44. I'm not sure why. Cooley, Gunther, Clayton Keller aren't scoring more points for us. In terms of the AHL team, it's Agazino there, 39. And so we'll get to the trade deadline now. Definitely, I'd say we're conservative buyers. Beforehand, I think we would have been conservative sellers. So we'll see what's out there. I'm not going to be giving up, Denoye or Ginla, but definitely could make some moves. Rasmus Anderson's available. Alex Ovechkin, Vince Dunn, Tuck, Carlson. Got McCann there, Matheson, Rust, Shen, Wilson. I mean, honestly, John Carlson, not that much value. First, deep pairing with Sergachev could be nice. Anderson as well, but he's got a lot more trade value. So we'll take a look here and see. So I was thinking we could get John Carlson for a lot cheaper. Unfortunately, he would not waive to go to our team, which means we'd have to make a pretty big trade offer here to get Rasmus Anderson. But if we have the cap space to re-sign him and Sergachev as our top D pair for, the foreseeable future, would be really, really solid. 88 overall. I think, we do have to try and make a play here. Obviously, it would require a 1st round pick. Looks like it shouldn't be a lottery pick, so I don't really mind that. If we can avoid giving that up, though, that'd obviously be ideal. Chekchenko, hopefully I said that right. Medium fringe. I mean, definitely could just throw him in there as a little bit of sweetener. I think we'll have to use probably the Rangers' 2nd rounder and our 2nd rounder. And then we're going to have to give up a solid prospect again. Not a Ginla, not Denoye. Let's take a look. I mean, Duda here, medium top 4. We have Simashev coming up, Lamoureux. I would definitely afford to give him up. So with him with 2 seconds, okay, it actually looks like the value's on our side, and he's on the block. I don't mind this at all. Even if we have to add a little bit, this is pretty close and definitely, not a ton to give up. Okay, they rejected it. They said too far off, so we have to probably add something of substance. Mirage here is only a 75 at 22, not doing amazing in the AHL. Could probably afford to give him up as well, especially, if we're getting Rasmus Anderson back. We're going to have to add a player here just for the roster spots, whoever has the least value. Tallulah there on their side. What do the Flames say now? Trades accepted. Okay, so Rasmus Anderson is now a Utah Mammoth, #1 player on the block. That's big. And I was thinking about maybe making a trade for Braden Shen just to be a top 6 guy for us. Unfortunately, he's another guy that won't wait for our team. Same goes for Jared McCann here. Cannot add him. I guess Utah being a new team, a lot of guys, worried about going there. Also, guys, I was curious to see, so Clayton Keller this season, 17 goals, 31 assists. I mean, so 48 points isn't too bad. Again, he should be outscoring Barrett Hayton, though. And look at this, 29 goals. I didn't even realize that. Definitely, I think, maybe just a bit of a fluke season so far for him. And now Alex Tucker's on the block for the Sabres. He would waive to come to our team. I just realized, too, we have an extra defenseman now, so Guy like Nate Schmidt, I think, is probably the one to move just because Ian Cole has like no value. I think for the rest of this year as a bottom pair guy, he's fine. And then Schmidt's 34, making 3.5 the next 3. I think Mata there, 1 overall higher, younger, makes more sense to keep. So we can do Schmidt here, and again, not give up anything too crazy. Like Sanika here, high top 6D is really not that bad. I guess actually Skahan, I'm probably butchering that. If we could give him up instead, and then maybe try and keep our second this year, but give up the second next year for Alex Tuch. And next year, guys, Boston Bruins offering us Fabian Lysell with another medium top 6 forward. They want Nate Schmidt, a third Carconi. I'm going to say no just because I feel like we have a lot of guys like that. And again, we don't need Schmidt now after bringing in Anderson. I got a couple defensemen there, a second rounder in 2027. Honestly, I might take off Vassinen here, and the value is still on our side. Let's take a look and see what Buffalo Sabres say. Trades accepted. Wow, okay, so we don't got Rasmus Anderson and Alex Tuch. Now, unfortunately, they both are on expiring deals, so we're going to have to definitely make sure the cap works. I think for sure this summer we'll be trading away McBain, who's making 4.2. Definitely too much money, I think, for his rating. Lawson Krause also might have to get rid of, but if it allows us to keep Anderson and Tuch, I'm happy. And actually, guys, I'm trying to make one more trade here. Definitely making some move happens. Like I said, McBain, 4.2 for the next 5 years, as basically a really good fourth liner, honestly, is a lot of money. So I'm trying to trade him with a third and a fifth. Jets want all of that for Cole Perfetti, 84 overall at 24. I think he'd be like a really good, third line winger, could play top 6 if we need. Also, second power play. Still young, getting better. Value's on our side. He's on the block, so I'm going to have to add to this. Are you kidding me? They say yes. Wow, okay. So I think Anderson, Tuch, Perfetti, that is an insane trade deadline for this team. And the trade deadline's now complete, guys. Again, I feel like we had to be the most active team. Really like the moves we made. At the end of the trade deadline, actually, Jake Evans there going to Boston for Fabian Lysell in second. I feel like that's a really good return there from Montreal. Let's see. You got Guliev going to the Devils. Seamus Casey going back the other way. So a couple young defensemen. Tolvin in there to the Stars. Liljegren to the Canadians. Cam Fowler to the Leafs. Let's see. Kesselring there to the Flyers. Hathaway to the Devils. Connor Murphy to the Hurricanes. Logan Hensler's a solid young defenseman going to the Flames. Braden Shen gets traded to the Predators. Suter to the Jets. Colby Barlow going back to the Blues. Let's take a look here. Brian Rust to the Preds. Grizzlick there to Lightning. Alex Wenberg to the Canucks. Wow, they gave up Tom Willander for him. I don't know about that one. Charlie Coyle there to the Predators. You also got Kesselring got flipped. He went from Buffalo to the Devils and got traded again. And Buffalo got Salayev back for him. That seems like a steal for them. And now after the trade deadline, guys, just update a look at the team. Keeping the first line together. On the second line, you got Alex Tuch, Schmaltz, and Peterka. So all this on the top 6, I think, looks a lot nicer. With Kerfoot, Hayton, and Perfetti on the third lines. Even the top 9 overall. I can see Gunther actually gave big rig to one of the X Factors. Fourth line there, Krause, Stenlund, Tanev is also solid. Because of the trades, Carconi there is scratched, but that's okay. Could potentially get in the lineup next season. Defensively, of course, Serge have Anderson's on our top pair. They get a +3. We then have Dursey, Marino on the second pairing with Cole and Mata on the bottom. No change there to the goalies. I think, too, with the chemistry, you can see power play actually gets a +4 now, opposed to, what was it, like a -2 at the start of the season. So that's a lot better. Power play, too, also have a lot more, skill players. I saw Hayton there, even though he's playing third line, he actually had a lot of his points so far this year on the power play, 7 power play goals. So hopefully, being out front there, that continues. The four-man's there. Chemistry still not amazing. PK-wise, though, you got Tuch actually on the top unit. Very good, defensive stats, 88 awareness, 95 shot block, 90 stick check. He's actually got the elite, stick check X factor. So I think Tuch can kind of do everything for us. Perfetti's going to, pitch in with points. And Anderson, of course, is a top pairing defenseman. So trade deadline should make us a better team. We'll see. AHL-wise, they still look, pretty average, but somehow they're getting it done. So we'll see if they can, hold on to that playoff spot. And now next, you guys are having a conversation with our head coach. Hopefully, it's to say we made the playoffs, and that's exactly what it is. Okay, so there we go. I'm actually not sure what spot we're in right now. I think there's still a bit of time in the season. We got, 2 games left. First place, though. How did we just clinch 2 games left while in first? I guess the Central is just that close. So taking a look here, I got first place there, 97 points, 46, 31, and 5 record. Taking a look at the Pacific, also not the best. But then in the East, you got the Sens with 112. 4 teams there in the Atlantic, the 100+. Metro there, Penguins first place in the division. Jeez, so attribute effects 9 and 10, and somehow the Penguins are doing really well, which, in real life, they actually are off to a hot start. AHL team there also makes the playoffs, 3rd place in their division. And now next year, guys, look at the stats. What happened to this team this year? Clayton Keller had 63 points, leading the team in scoring, so I don't know, maybe we have to break up that first line. Dylan Gunther, 59, same with Cooley. What is going on there? Barrett Hayton, 57. Like I said, that is just so kind of crazy to me. Serge, 57 is very solid as a D-man. Perfetti here, 54. Let's see. With us, 10 and 20. Third line, not terrible. Paterka there, just under 50. Staying with Schmaltz. Tuck there, 48. Might actually be able to get him cheaper. 7 points, 20 games, second line. Like, what? It's honestly might be like the lowest, one of the lowest scoring teams I've ever had. So, really, really interesting. I guess we had, good defense. Goaltending, Vejmelka, 9-1 save percentage. Definitely solid AHL-wise. Villalta there to 9-1-6. AHL scoring leader was actually Kale Yamamoto. A lot of people tell me I look like him, so I have to just hold on to him for that reason. Dino Booth there, just under 50 points per game as well. So I'm curious to see, like, the entire league here. Okay, Matthews had 106. I guess it was just our team. What the heck? Cooch, Gensel, both 98. I mean, overall lower scoring year when you only had, 6 guys with 90-plus points. But, I mean, our team especially, that's crazy. Now look at defensive scoring here, guys. Kale McCarr still a beast. 88 points there, plus 31. So looking like another Norris trophy for him. Goaltenders, Vasilevsky there, 42 wins. Save percentage-wise for a starter is going to be actually Darcy Kemper there with the Kings. 923 save percentage, so building on, last year's really solid season. And then Kemper there, also the lowest goals against, so probably taking on the Vezina. Rookie skaters here. Demidov, 54 points. Yeah, basically a lock there for the Calder. In terms of the entire league, guys, the Sens take on the President's Trophy. He had 4 teams, 100-plus points. We got 6th place in the entire NHL, and again, that's with Clayton Keller, 63 points. If we can get some scoring here, we're going to be in a very good spot. Canucks kind of squeak in at 18. And then last place is actually the St. Louis Blues. Goals 4th, Sens are in 1st. I assume we're last. We're actually not even one of the bottom teams. So I guess we just had a ton of depth scoring. Goals against there, the Oilers were the best. We're actually not even on the top page. Nor are we at the bottom. So interesting. I thought for sure looking at those stats, we would have been one of the best defensive teams in the league. And then one of the lowest scoring. But somehow just kind of middle of the pack for both. And on the first round of the playoffs, guys, we're actually matched up here with the Anaheim Ducks. So we'll take a look and see if they've made any moves. McTavish there is playing first line left wing. They got Granlund, Terry, Vetrano, Carlson, Kreider. Gauthier there with Strome, Kaloran. Seneca, they have fourth line. Paling, Colangelo. Defensively, Jackson Lacombe, Trouba, Gudis, Mintikov, Zellweger, Hellison. So this team looks basically the same. Dostal there, their starting goalie. Definitely think our team is stronger on paper, especially after the trade deadline. We brought in some really good pieces. So we'll have the home ice advantage here in round 1. First ever playoff game in Utah. And it's a 4-2 loss, followed up by a 2-1 loss. All right, so head to Anaheim now, down 2-0. Definitely not where we want to be. Game 3 is another loss, 6-2. Game 4, luckily, we come back, win it 2-1 in OT. All right, let's see. Hopefully, I can at least get one win at home here in Utah. Game 5, 3-2 OT win. Okay, so we're scraping by. Can we force Game 7? And Game 6, unfortunately, is a 1-0 OT loss. So team finally woke up there. Unfortunately, the Ducks were playing us tight. So going to get knocked out first round. But luckily to make the playoffs and also to the AHL team here. Swept the Calgary Wranglers. They're on to the second round playing the Henderson Silver Knights. So maybe they can do some damage. And again, looking at that team, I thought on paper they weren't even a playoff team, honestly. And they look really good as they currently have, I was going to say, yet to lose a playoff game. And they lost a couple, but luckily clutched up in Game 5. They now have the Manitoba Moose here in the conference final. This AHL team, led by Yamamoto, is just getting it done. Won the first 2, lose the next 2. Goes to Game 7, unfortunately, OT loss. So AHL team was literally an overtime and goal away from the Calder Cup final. And now the playoffs are complete here, guys. The Tampa Bay Lightning actually take on the Stanley Cups. What's that? Their 3rd cup in 5 years or something. Calder Cup champions there, Manitoba Moose. So we do lose the eventual winners. And the large results are in here. Calgary jumps from 6-1, winning Gavin McKenna. Chicago there 7-2. So they'll get Keaton Verhoff. Then you have St. Louis falling to 3, which is tough. Carolina picking 9 via the Dallas pick. And next, you guys will take a look at the playoff tree. So the Lightning there actually swept the Panthers round 1, the back-to-back defending Cup champs. They beat the Leafs in 7, Bruins in 5, and then the Kings there in 6, and the Stanley Cup final. Honestly, based on how they started the year, I'd be very surprised if the Kings make the Cup final. Take a look at our players in the playoffs. Gunther, 4 points leading the way. Cooley, 4 assists. I mean, Ian Cole, 3 points. Cannot be, putting up the same amount of points as Clayton Keller. What is going on there? Paterka, 2 goals. Maybe we look for a new coach, honestly. I mean, they did good, but want more scoring. Vejmelka's still in his head. I was thinking about, going out and getting an elite goalie, but Vejmelka's actually done pretty well. So the awards here, guys, Tampa Bay. I think I said 3rd cup in 5 years. I think it's actually 3rd in 7 because they won, obviously, 21 and 20. Of course, centers there, President's Trophy. Looking at the individual awards, Matthews, Art Ross. Hart, though, goes to Kucherov. McCarr, James Norris back-to-back. Kuch gets the Lady Bing. Demidov, Calder. Cooch Conn Smythe, huge year for him. Darcy Kemper there with the Vezina Trophy. Skinner, though, got the William Jennings. You got Pollock there taking on the Bill Masterton. Jack Adams there goes to the Penguins head coach Dan Muse. Then you got Couturier there with the Selke, Kucherov, Ted Lindsay, and then Matthews, Maurice Richard. And now look at the AHL here, guys. Of course, Manitoba Moose took home the Calder Cup. Individually, you got this Cairns guy, most points. The Wranglers also got MVP and most goals. He tore it up. Lab there, best rookie. Cale Fleury, actually best defenseman. Kier Schmid, best goaltender. You got Ford there, MVP. Cairns there also got sportsmanship, more community involvement, and then finally Schmid, lowest goals against. And now next year, guys, we're taking a look at retired players. Andre Kopitar there calls it quits, which is good to see. Obviously, true real life. Nicholas Backstrom as well. Same with Lucic. And actually, Ryan Reeves there retired, which I'm kind of surprised by. And then goalies got James Reimer. And now before we get to the draft, guys, I'm curious to see what Anderson, Tuck, even Perfetti are looking for. If it's too much money, we can move them. Anderson wants $8 million. Honestly, for top pairing defenseman, that's super fair. And for some reason, his ask actually goes down at 5 years. And then 6 years the same. But 6 years there, the interest isn't quite there. So we'll try 5 years. $8 million right on. Pays him to lose 34. I don't mind that at all. Now, Alex Tuck was definitely on a team-friendly deal, making under 5. He's going to want 9. It's a bit expensive, especially if we have to get Tuck and Perfetti signed. We can still move out like Brandon Tanev. I think somebody else. Barrett Hayton here wanted 6. Wants 7 now. Unfortunately for us, he did become a goal-scoring machine. Cole Perfetti. Luckily, both these guys are RFAs. He wants 7. So yeah, we'll have to play hardball with a couple of these guys. And so at the draft now, guys, obviously Gavin McKenna should be going first overall here, and he is. Verhoff behind him. You got a couple Swedes here. Nicholas Josephson made up, guys, 3 and 4. In terms of the gems, you got Bud there. Going to be a late goalie. St. Louis a bust. All right, so let's take a look. Potential. Maybe our scouts found somebody. I mean, this goalie, probably medium elite, but imagine he's actually medium franchise in the 4th round. That would be incredible. And look at this, American goalie, guaranteed medium elite. He's going to be going like 5th round, so that's actually a really good steal as well. Also, Joey Ginla here is supposed to be a 3rd round pick. I feel like we got to try and take him to, reunite him there with his brother. And so I'm just going to send to our first pick here, guys, number 27. Adam Valentini just went. That's actually who I was hoping we could grab. But if you guys remember from last series, to make it a bit tougher, I have it so we can't move up in the 1st round. Basically, too easy, I think, to go up and get those top 5 picks. Also, too, once we hit free agency, can't offer any free agents more than they're asking, just to make it more realistic in terms of your chances of actually landing a guy. Zubov there to the CBJ, 81 overall at 11. Medium elite potential is really good. You can see here the top 9 all look to be medium elites. And again, there are a couple of created guys added in there. But like I said, we already knew the first 2. So next here, probably just looking for best guy available. Could be Diorio there. Could be like a Beckham Edwards. You also got Adam Metz. You got Kranko. Honestly, I forget what the ratings are for some of these guys. I'm pretty sure they're all medium top 6 potential. So I think I'm just going to take Diorio here. He is the highest ranked. And let's see, 69 medium top 6. Honestly, yeah, he's only 1 overall below Valentini. Not too bad. And now next year, guys, trying to get the Kings to give us a 6th round pick. We're dropping back 13 spots. They say no. Unfortunately, I feel like it's just so hard to, add extra picks in this game. The 7th there, they still say no. Okay, so what I think we'll have to do, we'll ask them for a 6th. I'm just trying to get value. There's nobody I want at the end of the 2nd round. And then we'll give up a 7th. It might not even end up mattering, but basically just the fact that we're doing it just in case. So our next pick here is going to be 73. We're actually going to be taking Joe Ginla here again. Wanted to add Tidge's brother. So even though he's only a medium top 9, he does still have a decent chance to eventually be a player for us. And now we have another 3rd round pick here, number 91. Could take Carter Hicks here, who actually plays for the Spits. Wouldn't be too bad. JC Lemieux there, also another Spitfire. And then you do have Riley Budd, who's a gem. I'm thinking he's probably a medium starter, though. Let's see. Our next picks, 137, that franchise goalie. 153, 166. So you know what? We'll take Carter Hicks here. Like I said, pretty sure medium top 6. And he is. 61 overall, though. Not too bad. And our next pick here, guys, is number 123 in the 4th round. We can take a chance on that medium franchise goalie. Imagine he is. I doubt it. We did obviously pass on the sell there because we have, this guy and the American goalie, both, medium elites at least. So not a big deal. And Tarasov's also medium elite. I figured the chance of him being a franchise were, slim to none. Our next pick here, guys, is now in the 5th round. We can actually take the other medium elite goalie. That, of course, is the American. So, we're always set at goalie, and obviously Vemelka has been playing well for us. And now this is kind of funny, guys. We're trying to move up in the draft with the Sabres. They actually have Schmidt on the block. Bryson there, 79. Not extended. I'm surprised he has the lowest value for guys on the block. I'm offering up 6th rounder here, moving up, 27 spots, plus Brandon Tanev again. He's not bad, but 2.5 is a bit pricey, I think, for a 4th liner, especially with all the guys we have to re-sign. And the Sabres do say yes. Probably actually could have gotten a bit more for him, but it's fine because we're going to be getting a low elite player with that pick. And obviously, too, just having a better idea of how much cap space we have during the re-sign phase, I think is helpful. Afanasenkov there, 51 low elite sniper, not too bad in the 6th. And there we go, guys. Anderson accepted that offer. Again, I think that was a great deal for us. And so now at the re-sign phase, we got 16 million in cap space. Gunther there's up to an 89, which is awesome to see. Cooley there, 87. Low franchise. Okay, so curious to see how he's going to grow. Alex Tuch actually dropped from 87 to 86, but Turka dropped one as well. I mean, obviously a low scoring year, so this might help us with the re-sign. Tuch there wants $9 million bucks. That is going to be tough to fit in. Obviously, Perfetti, Hayton, we can qualify both of them, so like we make sure we don't lose them for nothing. I feel like I feel like we can play hardball with both these guys. Probably end up getting them for about, you know, $5 million. Still though, that'd only leave us with 6. If we want to sign Alex Tuch, we're definitely have to trade away Lawson Krause. And then I was looking at defense here. So Ian Cole, we're not going to bring back. Lamru, there's already an 80. Even Simishev, 79. Could probably trade away Mata as well. Clear up a bit more cap space. Luckily, you know, we have 2 young defensemen that I think can make the NHL. And then in terms of the goaltenders, definitely want a better backup behind Vejmelka than Vanacek. Vololta there's not bad, but you got Hurabel, who's got high starter. He could end up being the AHL starting goalie, honestly. Stauber there as well could just be like his backup. And then the high backup here, Musser, I'm probably just going to let go. I don't even think it's worth the roster spot. Thielen, though, 2168 medium fringe. Definitely I could keep him around. And now Valimaki, Perunovic here, guys, both wanted like $1.5 million. For me, they're AHL defensemen. They're 79s. They see themselves as NHL guys, so had to let them go. Now Carconi here could be a cheap 4th line option. 2.5, jeez. I don't know. Stenlin, 1.7. That's definitely a lot better for us. See if he takes 1.5 there for a 1-year deal. And now Kerfoot here, 2.7. I mean, for a bottom 6 guy, this is actually pretty fair. Try and get him there for like 2.5 or 2 years. He can play 3rd, even be like a super 4th liner. Obviously, too, a big question for us is whether or not Iginla and or Denoye is actually going to make the team next season. And now Alex Tuch here actually would take a bit of a pay cut. 7.5 million slots on the final 2 bars with a modified, you know, 50% no trade. So we'll try that, and again, I think maybe you can fit him in. Unfortunately, Tuch rejected, wants to test for agency, so we have to give him more money. Yamamoto there just came back to be AHL guy. Stenlund also said yes, same with Kerfoot. And I'm looking at Carconi here. I just feel like he doesn't do enough of like defensive or physical stuff to justify having him there on the 4th line. And we honestly could just rock Liam O'Brien. He's low rated, but brings a lot of physicality plus truculence X factor. And so for Alex Tuch here, guys, going to try offering him an extra $250K with an extra like what 5 teams there on the no trade. And he does say yes to that. Okay, so that was big. We got 6.7 million left in cap space, but again, we have a couple guys to trade away to clear up some more room to get Perfetti and Hayton both under contract. As for the free agency period, guys, I'm curious to see who's available. Obviously, we can't really spend much money. Jason Robertson, is he an RFA or UFA? RFA, okay, so you have to go a bunch of picks. Alex Ovechkin does not return to Russia. He's actually staying in NHL, but choosing a new team, which is probably the least likely scenario. Boone Jenner wants 9.2. Kane there wants almost 8. Yeah, some of these asks are crazy. Claude Giroux asking for 9. Malkin 9. Wow. I mean, honestly, I'm kind of glad we didn't have money to spend because none of these guys are giving deals at all. I guess it is day 1 for agency. Nyquist is probably the only one that's actually pretty solid there. 2.2 million. Tyler Seguin as well. $2 million bucks and 83. That's almost worth it. Sniper, he could play wing for us, could play in the middle. I'm going to look at the roster. If we do need like a 3rd line forward, Sagan might be a guy. Also, too, as I mentioned, we need a backup goalie. Top goalie available is Mrazek. So, I mean, if we want a backup, we actually have to pay kind of more than I expected, close to $2 million bucks. Take a look at 2-way goalies here, too, to see if there's anyone with decent potential. Volokin here, 2174 high fringe starter. Not sure who didn't sign him, but honestly, he's definitely worth taking. We also could use some defensemen that can actually play in the AHL. So we need someone that's, you know, decent rating. But right now, the highest rated guys is 74, so we'll probably wait a few days. And hopefully some more guys are willing to take it 2-way. And in terms of the forwards, Fedotov here, who was actually drafted by the Coyotes back in 2022. 2374 medium top 9. He might be able to help us here for a couple years. AHL team, obviously, isn't too stacked yet. They usually end up being pretty good, though. And now, for some reason, guys, the Penguins have Shelovs on the block, 80 overall. And he's making 1.5, so that's actually a better deal than the guys in free agency. Had a 919 last year. His trade value, basically, it does not exist. We can move on from Thielen, who we just drafted, because Volokin there, 6 overall higher. Same age, better potential. I'd throw in like a 7th, too, just for good measure. And they do say yes. I wonder if, honestly, could have done that without the 7th, but like I said, too, we need to move on from Mata here as well as Krause. And I'm actually looking at Tampa Bay Lightning here, guys, offering up Mata for Sam O'Reilly. Could be our future 3C. 2-way forward there, solid defensive stats, physical's not too bad. I don't mind this at all, clearing cap, and like I said, I think we're getting back a pretty good prospect. And the Lightning say yes, there we go. And I'm offering up Lawson Krause to the Rangers. If we can get a 2nd round pick for him, again, trying to clear cap, not bad. Honestly, looking at it, we might be able to add maybe a 2nd and a 5th here for Kraus. They say no. They did say quite close to trade value. So give us a 7th there, make up for the one we, gave for Shelovs. And there we go. Okay, so we now have about 12 million cap space, which I think should be enough to sign both Hayton and Perfetti. So for Barrett Hayton here, guys, I'm offering him 5.25 with a 50% no trade. Trade value there is in the last 2 bars. We'll see what he says. And then Perfetti here, I'm offering 4.75, 50% no trade, which actually only kicks in year 4 and 5. I think that's actually a really good deal for Perfetti. And it's kind of funny, guys. I'm trying to hire 3 new scouts here. They're all former NHL players. Phil Kessel, Anze Kopitar, James Reimer. And there we go, guys. Perfetti accepted the offer. Like I said, I think that was a good contract. Hayton rejected, wanted more cash. Fedotov there said yes. All right, guys. So I'm not sure why Hayton said no, because we're actually offering him less now as time's gone on. Same exact deal as Perfetti. 4.75, 50% no trade, 5 years. And like the interest there is way higher. And there we go. He did accept. So he played himself.
Congratulations. You played yourself.
And I was looking, guys, we could probably still use one more bottom 6 NHL forward. I wish I would have signed Sagan when I was looking at him, but Riley Smith's still there, 2.2. I mean, Sagan might even still be, actually, no, he's gone. So maybe Riley Smith is the guy. 83 overall sniper, 10 goals, 24 assists last year. Nick Foligno's another option, brings a ton of physicality, leadership. Now for Foligno, we'll offer him exactly what he wants, and I'm going to give him a full no move, because it's just a 1 year. He'll be a 4th liner, I think. That would allow Kerfoot to be on the 3rd line. And he rejects, decided to go with the Rangers. Okay, so hopefully Smith's still there. Bruins trying to get Kerfoot from us. And you know what, guys? I guess we need more of a 4th liner if we have Kerfoot on the 3rd. So I'm actually going to sign Paul Cotter here. He's 26, so 1 year left to grow. 79 overall. And he's got spark plug there. 93 body check, 95 aggressiveness. Obviously, a guy likes to throw the body around. And I'm offering him exactly what he wants. He's got full contract interest. Oh, actually, he's an RFA. A 3rd round pick for a 4th liner with the Devils. You know what? I probably would do that. We'll see whether or not, he accepts. And we still need a few AHL defensemen, guys. Going to sign Loof here. 24.73, low top 6. Honestly, like, our AHLD is in a tough spot. So we need anything like that. Brunette, 22.73. Same kind of idea. He's still growing. And we could probably use a couple AHL forwards as well. Oliver Wahlstrom here. 1 year left till he's done. Give him like just under $1 million. If you guys watched the training for the first video, he actually did not too bad. And I'm looking for like a playmaker. I feel like a lot of these guys, for whatever reason, don't have good passing. So Brendan Brisson, 24.76, medium top 9. He'd be a nice addition, although I feel like he might be an RFA. He's not. Okay, so hopefully he says yes. You also got Alexandrov here, 25.76. He's a decent playmaker. Again, just trying to find some bodies to throw in the AHL. And there we go, guys. Cotter said yes, but the Devils can match, which they probably will. Brendan Brisson said yes. Same with Alexandrov. Anton Forsberg being offered to us. I feel like Shelovs is a fine backup, especially since he's still growing. And look at this. Devils chose not to match 3rd round pick and 1.75 for Cotter. So I feel like we made up pretty well. And now we're in August, guys. Trying to see if we can get some more AHL players cheaper. Arthur Kalea is available. He's definitely a guy I think could put up some points. And we still do need a defenseman. Kessel here, 26.77, high 7th for a 1 year deal is probably not too bad. Also, Kuliachonic here we could bring back. Same kind of thing, like our AHLD, it's bad. Ilya Solovyov, I probably butchered that, but he's another guy that honestly would be an upgrade, so give him a 1 year deal. And now next year, guys, we're having a conversation with our head coach about next season. I feel like we'll probably be similar, like fighting for a playoff spot. Yeah, that's exactly what he thinks. And in terms of preseason focus, as I mentioned, 2nd year now, we'll do the speed one just to make up for that speed we lost in the 1st year. And next year, guys, I'll show the lines for this season. Again, I think, our team's just as good, probably a little bit better. So we got Keller, Cooley, and Gunther on the 1st line. They get a +5. Also, Cooley, Gunther both have 3 X factors. Gunther's don't make it most sense to me. You got unstoppable, big rig. Cooley's do make a lot of sense. Tape to tape, send it, and wheels. 2nd line there, you got Tuck, Schmaltz, Paterka. They get a +3. On the 3rd line, you got Perfetti, Hayton, and Ginla. Obviously, Ginla making the team, 81 overall, elite potential. I assume, he'll grow during the season. 4th line there, you got Cotter, Stenlund, and Kerfoot. In terms of the defense, Sergachev, Anderson is our top pair. We got Dursey, Marino on the 2nd, and then Simashev, Lamoureux on the bottom. Obviously, we'll talk to all the guys about the scheme fit, try and get the chemistry a bit better. Vamelka, 84. Sheila's up to an 83. So goalies actually look really solid. AHL, Vaholkin there is the starter. Herbel backing him up. 1st line there, you got Daniel Boot, Brisson, and Kalea, which I think is actually pretty solid. Denoya got up to like a 79, so he's back in the CHL. Next year, we can call him up. But looking through the AHL team, I think they definitely look better than last year. I'm sure the rest of the teams around the league are also better. Defensively too, I think is pretty solid, mostly like mid to high 70s. So we'll see how they do. And in terms of the ratings, guys, for the next season, we've got 92 offense, 89 defense, 86 goaltending. So I think all 3 ratings have gone up. Hopefully can make it past the 1st round next year. But that's gonna do it for this one. If you guys enjoyed it, leave that thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a nice day. Goodbye.